Anime has always seemed to have a somewhat spotty past when it comes to transferring the brilliant horror genre from page to animation. Sometimes the art is done in a very intricate style, and the fear we experience comes from these insanely detailed drawings that almost seem as if they leap off the page towards you. In other cases, the silence that inherently comes with reading alone greatly plays into the impending feelings of dread and terror, which can feel a little on the cheesy side when surrounded by a soundtrack that may or may not fit the vibe. So, it was a welcome and pleasant surprise when Season 1 of The Promised Neverland leaned heavily into its unique characters and circumstances, rather than jump scare centered techniques, instead letting the characters draw you into the situation. These kids have nowhere to go. When most young children will look to an adult figure for guidance, they can't, because they are the enemy, raising them to be nothing more than food. Season 1 is full of daring plans of escape, heart-wrenching sacrifices, and this false sense of hope, which is how I feel about Season 2. The hype surrounding the show was at an all-time high, and I must preface this with the fact that I was a manga reader, which is only relevant here because Season 2 felt like a completely different beast. Not just from Season 1, but from the source material entirely. If you've followed The Promised Neverland before in any capacity, then you've likely heard about one of the show's biggest problems stemming from a rather series of unfortunate events, that being pacing. The first set of episodes sticks to the manga as we go through the Promised Forest arc, but then the show deviates hard, skipping what is widely held as the original series' best arc and blowing through one of the biggest plot twists the original had in no time flat. Season 1 covered roughly 37 chapters in 12 episodes. Season 2, on the other hand, finishes the remaining story of over 140 chapters in 11 episodes. A show that could have made up to 5 more seasons was plowed through in 11 measly episodes. Not to mention that the production quality of the show took a noticeable downturn, but that can somewhat be explained. Studio Cloverworks produced the show, and during the second season, they were simultaneously working on beloved shoujo manga Horimiya and their own new project, Wonder Egg Priority. If you have seen either of these shows, it would be very easy to assume that the A-team that worked on Season 1 was instead put to work on these projects, which seemed to be more important to the studio at the time. It also doesn't help that October 2020 was when Season 2 was originally scheduled to be released, but that really bad thing that we don't talk about on YouTube shut down the world, so a lot of productions had to be moved back and seemingly dealt this show a really rotten hand. The big reason why so many people in the community seemingly hated Season 2, mainly manga readers, was how much it deviated from what made the show feel unique in the first place. Something special was put in place throughout the show's first 2 arcs, and for reasons previously stated, it felt like that was all thrown away. The thing is, I would love to not care. I'd be very happy to accept what we got and move on, but there's that feeling from knowing what we could have had, and it was pure thriller gold. The Goldie Pond arc is widely seen as the anime's biggest misstep, and where the show becomes its own entity. The arc held great character growth for our protagonist Emma, delved into the twisted sides of the demon world, hosted a great battle of wits, gave us lead-ins to important characters that eventually just got wiped out of the show's existence, and introduced the series' best written villain in my opinion. When people talk about why they love a certain manga, it often comes down to a singular arc that really hooked them. The rest of the product may have its flaws, but that arc, that is what led them to place faith in the author no matter what may happen in the future. For The Promised Neverland, that's Goldie Pond. The show could have added this arc, done the rest of the show how they did it originally, and while some fans would still be upset, you'd at least have given them the thing that a lot of them most desperately wanted from this anime's adaptation. Imagine any big anime that you know about skipping a beloved important arc and then trying to finish the show. It's impossible to do, so we got what we got. But it really begs the question, why change everything? Well, the explanation most come to is that the producers wanted to reintroduce Norman as quickly as possible to the story, and if they were told that they would only be getting 11 episodes to navigate the previously mentioned 140 chapters, then it's a little easier to understand why they would hard pivot in front of the original story so hard. In the past, I've made remarks about the Promised Neverland being why you should be careful what you wish for when it comes to your favorite manga getting an anime adaptation. The fact is, not all adaptations are created equally, and circumstances outside of the studio's control sometimes causes things like this to happen. Season 1 will forever be one of my personal favorite single seasons of an anime made in my lifetime. And Season 2 will sadly go down as one of the biggest missed opportunities. Some people really did enjoy what we got, and for those people, I'm glad you're able to enjoy the show. And for those that didn't, I happily welcome you to the dark side of manga reading, where disappointment only comes from hiatuses, buying loads of manga, sometimes being canceled right as they get to the... Okay, maybe just enjoy things that you want to, and let us all complain in our own unique ways. I've been Summers with Baka to Basics. Like, subscribe, go off in the comments down below, and I'll see you the next time class is in session.